There's something very special about volunteering and about the people who do so. Do you volunteer in your community? Or perhaps you would like to and don't know where to get started. Good people give their time to do great things every day. And recently we met some of them at the Volunteer Fair here in Cupertino, California. Volunteering really is the gift of giving. Stay tuned. Welcome to the better part. I'm your volunteer host, Val Jeffrey. People volunteer in many ways, whether it's sharing their skills as mentors, or helping children to read, or sending cards from home to our troops abroad. There's always a need somewhere. Time is very precious, and in our busy lives, the gift of giving is the most generous gift that we can give. The city of Cupertino, California recently held a volunteer fair. The better part was there to show the community what we do. Our hope is that this program will inspire you to search out volunteering opportunities in your own communities. My guest in the studio today organized the fair. We welcome Community Outreach Specialist for the city of Cupertino, Colleen Latier.
Thank you, Colleen. The most important thing I have to say right now is a big thank you to Colleen Latier, because without Colleen, none of this happens at all. And she's just done such a tremendous job bringing the Cupertino Fair back to Cupertino.
Great job. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to the Better Part for attending the volunteer fair and, participating and getting everyone to provide their interviews. That was great.
What does your job as outreach specialist do?
As an outreach specialist, I manage the communications with the community. So part of my job is to manage all of the social media marketing out of City Hall and on behalf of the City Council. I coordinate citywide events like the Volunteer Fair. I also help participate in the Earth Day Festival. I do graphic design. I'm constantly communicating with residents directly, and that's the main focus of my job.
You're not allowed to be sick at all then, by the sound of it.
Definitely not.
Whose idea was the fair?
This was an idea by our current mayor, Darcy Paul. Volunteerism is extremely important to him, and he really thought that it was necessary to have this fair. It was a fair that used to be held in Cupertino way back in the day, and he thought it was really important to bring it back.
Our Cupertino mayor, Darcy Paul, is going to tell us about this volunteer day that we're having.
Oh, sure. So we have about 63 volunteer organizations today. We used to have a volunteer fair in Cupertino on a regular basis, but it's been a number of years since we've had it, and I thought that in my year as mayor, it would be a nice thing to bring it back to our city.
So could they contact the city then and say, I just turned 50 or 65 or whatever, or retired, I would like to volunteer and do some good. Is there a number or something through the city that they could learn about volunteer organizations?
Absolutely. They're always free to email me. My email address at the city is dpaul@cupertino.org. Our staff member who has been coordinating this event has done a tremendous job. And her name is Colleen Latier. And so if they're interested in knowing more about future iterations of the volunteer fair, Colleen would be the person to contact. Her email address is LLEENL at Cupertino.org. And, we're a relatively small town still, and so you can find the right people to contact, and, that's what I really love about Cupertino. You have a lot of these interactions, and it's very much on a personal basis.
How much time did you have?
3 months. He decided at the State of the City that this was, which was held on January 31st, that he wanted to have the fair in May, the beginning of May. And so when he presented this idea at the State of the City, that was my cue to say, go. And that's when we started to coordinate the fair.
Of course, we have everyone from Lions Club, Rotary, the Better Part, a lot of our major volunteer organizations in Cupertino here today, but I'm certain I wouldn't be able to count in a reasonable amount of time the number of outlets for volunteering there are. And, frankly, it's whatever interests you that you'd like to share with other people.
Well, with this many groups, it sees like that Cupertino's gaining a lot of benefits from all these.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think a society in general, when you have a spirit of volunteerism within it and nurtured, is highly benefited. I told myself, look, we have a really good sign up. We have 63 organizations, and even if not a single person comes in, at least we have the crosstalk between 63 volunteer organizations. But I think as has been pretty evident in the first couple of hours of the event, we have quite a few people coming in and interacting. I just see this as a wonderful testimony to the kind of community we are. And it's really refreshing to be able to interact with people that have that kind of spirit. So this is probably my favorite few hours in my tenure as a council member in Cupertino.
Well, thank you for bringing back the fair, because I think it lets the general population know what's available, and it might inspire them to go out and volunteer.
Absolutely.
What does it take to plan and put on an event like this?
It takes a lot. As they say, it takes a village. So I had initially started with a committee trying to work with other staff members who have put on events of this capacity, like the Earth Day Festival. And from there, just started kind of using their templates for how they, plan these things, and just trying to reach out. And I was in constant communication with people and reaching out, asking them if they wanted to participate, or people reaching out to me and making sure we had enough booths, tables, the organizing the setup, creating the map. So a lot goes into it.
Let's hear from some of the non-profit organizations and volunteers. Here is Grace Trafton talking with In a Talent, winner of the Crest Award. Let's find out what they do.
Welcome to Ina and Aditi, two beautiful ladies dressed in beautiful costumes. Tell me about your organization, Ina.
I am representing In a Talent here today, which is a nonprofit organization that goes around to various senior centers and assisted living centers and rehabilitation centers.
How did this organization get started?
It really just started off an idea and off of the fact that children in the Bay Area focus so much on their energies on building up their resumes for college and creating these talents, and after that, there was no way to give it back to the community, and there was this thought that there should be a way to give it back to the community, and with that, it kind of took on its own form, and there came In a Talent from that.
That is wonderful. How many people do you have in your organization?
So 2 years ago, we just had 3. It was me and 2 other people, and now we have safely a little bit over 100 people volunteering with us after 2 years.
That is absolutely amazing. Over 100. All volunteers?
Yeah, and some of them come from dance schools. We partnered with a few dance schools and talent schools, which Aditi is actually part of, California Newport Dance Academy, who is one of our partners. So we've had around 50 individual volunteers, and then the dance schools or other schools of talent will provide the other 50 for us.
Now, tell me about your volunteer experience. What motivated you to volunteer?
Well, I've been dancing for a long time, ever since I was little, and dance is just a way that I express myself. And so I thought that it would be great to give back to the community by expressing myself through dance.
And how long have you been volunteering?
I've been just with Ina, or she's been my friend for a long time, so I've just been kind of with her through this experience, but she's been doing all of the leading for the organization.
That is wonderful.
I'm speaking with Amanda Yoon. She's with the program that teaches adults how to read. I think it's wonderful. Tell us about it.
Sure. So this is the reading program of Santa Clara County Library District. It's our adult literacy program that helps adults learn how to read and write and speak better. It's a free program, and so all of our students get to join and really enhance their literacy skills for free through the help of volunteer tutors.
How do they hear about this?
A lot of our students actually hear about it from word of mouth. They tell their family, friends, because they themselves had a great opportunity and they had a great experience being able to be a part of the program. They also hear about us because we have our brochures and flyers all around the libraries. And so, we have a very popular program.
Well, I have a question here now. If someone doesn't read, would they be likely to go to the library and even pick up one of these flyers?
Right, and so that's why I think word of mouth has really caught on. And so most of our learners actually know some of the basics of the alphabet and are able to read and write at the most basic level. But we're really helping students become better at reading comprehension, expand their vocabulary, improve their grammar, and be able to write better.
Many, many years ago, I interviewed a lady who had been taught to read as an adult. She was about 40, and she had worked in a factory, and she couldn't read the instructions, so she had to be twice as smart and watch what everyone else was doing to do it. And she said once she learned to read, she could look at the magazines and know what they were, even just to read the ads. So how do you go about teaching an adult to read?
Well, first, our program is learner-centered. So we really try to see what their needs are. So if it's for work, like the learner that you spoke about, then we would help them from there. And so asking them what kind of vocabulary and what kind of workplace writing you need to do or reading you need to do. And other students, they need help going to the doctor's office or reading health education information, financial literacy information, all sorts of things that they're not able to do on their own, which is why they seek our services.
I see you have some books. Are these teaching aids?
Yes. So these are books that are created for adult learners. And so this is a great series. It has different reading passages, vocabulary, and the important thing about these books is a lot of English learning workbooks are catered towards youth and children. So the content is oftentimes a little bit childish, but these have more content that's content that adults would be interested in.
Now, if someone would like to volunteer, I think this is nice because a volunteer could perhaps do it on their own schedule. How would they volunteer? Who do they contact?
So you can contact us, the reading program, and our email address is readingprogram@sccl.org, and it's completely based on your availabilities, like you mentioned, and you can volunteer at any of our library locations. And the only requirement is for you to attend an orientation and a short training.
Tell me, how long have you been with Breathe California?
I'm actually an intern at Breathe California. I've been here for about a month and a half now, and I'm doing this internship for my school, actually.
And what school do you go to?
I'm going to Cal State East Bay.
Wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about Breathe California? What does the organization do?
So Breathe California is a nonprofit here in San Jose, and our main goal is to help fight lung disease in all of its forms. And we have different programs such as an asthma program, a tobacco program, tuberculosis program, a sleep safe program, and we also have a seniors health and wellness program.
That sounds wonderful. So you provide all these services for free to the public?
Yes, so we are a nonprofit, and our main goal is we do a lot of health education and promotion. So we work with the community to raise awareness about lung health and help them educate them in ways so they can prevent themselves from these lung diseases.
Now, what made you decide to do your internship with Breathe California?
I chose Breathe California mainly because I wanted to do hands-on work with the community. I didn't want to sit behind a desk and typing in data, so I wanted to do something hands-on. And as an intern for the Health Seniors Program, I get to do presentations for seniors. I also get to provide them for no-cost health screenings, and I feel really rewarded.
That sounds a lot of interesting activities. What kind of health presentations do you give to the seniors?
So we have a wide range of different topics. We will. I've done presentations on sleep apnea, maintaining health wellness. We also talk about different diseases like COPD, and just like relevant topics within the healthcare that the seniors need to be educated about.
Now, have you found any particular activity you've been involved with the most satisfying?
I actually really like doing the health screenings because it's no cost, and I feel that with that the seniors kind of come in and they feel like, oh, I got my blood pressure checked, or oh, my lungs are in good shape. So I find that really rewarding that I'm able to, just do a little test for them and let them know that, hey, you're fine,
That is wonderful. And how much longer do you plan to do internship here?
Well, I am actually graduating, but based on my schedule, I think I will be continuing here even after my graduation.
That is wonderful, Gagan. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me as well. Thank you.
The Housing Commission helps with housing needs for people that are underprivileged in the Cupertino area. As you know, Cupertino is a very expensive area to live in, and we work in conjunction with West Valley Community Services in providing housing to people at lower rates. So the monthly rent is a whole lot lower. So these units are totally dedicated for the city's program. And people get on the waiting list, and there's income qualifications and other qualifications that they have to check into in order to qualify for that. And it's a lovely program. I've seen they've just remodeled the units at the West Valley Community Services, which is right off of Stevens Creek Boulevard.
So they're existing, they're nothing new being built, they're just existing, and it's supplemented by this West Valley organization.
So those are existing units already. They have the rentals there. They also have another set of townhomes, which is in the Greenwood Court area, which is also off of Stevens Creek. And we also are going to be putting in some senior housing, which is brand new units, which is going to be off of Stevens Creek as well.
Now, are you the only non-paid volunteer in the commission, or is it all volunteer?
The commissioners are all volunteered. This is my first year as being the chair of the Housing Commission, but all the volunteers are non-paid. They're all non-paid positions.
How many are there?
There are 5 commissioners currently.
And are you overseen by the mayor or the city planner?
So we work with the mayor's office. We recently had our commissioners meeting where we go in and meet with the mayor and give them an update of what transpired in the last meeting. And the rest of the commissioners also get to know what's going on in each commission, so that we can help each other, we can collaborate and get things happening.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate having you explain what you do to volunteer.
Thank you, Marilyn. You have a lovely day and happy Cinco de Mayo, guys.
I have with me right here Captain Rich Urena of the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department. Welcome, Rich.
Thank you for having me.
Now, tell me, what are you doing here at the Volunteer Fair?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for inviting us out here. We have a lot of different programs for the Sheriff's Office, so any opportunity we get to come out and be part of our community, we certainly want to be there. We're here today really to promote crime safety, to make sure our residents are aware of some of the things that are occurring in the city of Cupertino. So we have a lot of things like this where it's crime safety brochures. This particular one is crime prevention tips for seniors. So we certainly want to talk to our residents about crime safety, but we're also here because we do have volunteer opportunities within the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office. To be a bit more specific, we have a lot of things that we do for our community, and so certainly there are opportunities for our residents to engage our office and the community at the same time. So we have applications out on our booth here where our residents can take them with them, and really it's a simple application. You just fill out the information on there and what you're interested in doing for our office, and we try to pair you up with those duties and assignments that we have. We're also here to talk about the Teen Academy and the Community Academy. We have the Community Academy that occurs twice a year. You can find out all that information online on our website at Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office.
I'm with some very industrious Boy Scouts. It's Andrew and Alex Richardson. Andrew and Alex. And they're Boy Scouts and they're volunteering. It's all about volunteering. And they're now working on their Eagle Scouts badge, which is the big one. And so Alex is going to tell us what they're seeking to volunteer for, or if you have any ideas. That's why they're here today looking. So tell us all about it.
Okay, so an Eagle Scout project usually consists of us leading a volunteer project. We usually can get Boy Scouts to volunteer, and it has to be for a non-profit organization. There have been many Eagle projects in the past, and some examples and some similar things we could do, for example, is like helping maintain and create new trails. People often help make sheds for schools and other similar projects. So there are a wide variety of things we can do, and Boy Scouts have a lot of skills, so that's why we're able to do all these things.
So basically, it would be something physical that you would do outdoors.
Yes, usually it's something physical that we do outdoors. I remember sometimes it can be indoors for a nonprofit school that help disabled learners. They help prepare the facility inside and help set up these different stations and stuff for them. So it doesn't have to be outside, but yes, it's usually something physical.
If somebody watching this wants some volunteer work, some very honorable volunteers, they would contact your scout leader, or is it a higher person they would contact?
Yeah, they could contact our scout leader. So we're from Troop 466 from Sunnyvale.
There you have it, some very willing and able volunteers.
How did you come up with the initial list of participants?
It started with Cupertino-based nonprofits, and we went back to our list of Crest Award recipients for the past 10 years, and we started reaching out to them. But once I put the first notification on social media that we were hosting this, I just started getting requests from tons of organizations to participate. We initially had said, we're only going to get about 30. And then that number slowly started creeping up to 40. And then we said, why not 50? And then before we knew it, we were at 64. And I had reached a point where I actually had to tell people, I'm sorry, I can't, we ran out of space. I can't let you, but next year. And so it was really great to have that many groups participate.
The entertainers were also volunteers. How did you enlist their help?
We wanted to keep it to Cupertino-based volunteers, seeing as this was a Cupertino Volunteer Fair. You know, granted it was a regional effort and regional groups came to the fair, but we know how many performing groups we have, especially at our senior center. We have some awesome performing groups like the Harmonic Hats and the various other groups, and so we started there and requested their presence. And then Inna Talent, which was a Crest Award winner for 2018, they were able to participate. We received glowing feedback right off the bat. I mean, on the day of, everyone was telling us that, you know, they had not ever gotten that many signups by being at a fair before. And I think that just goes to show how important to our community volunteering is. And everyone keeps asking me, are you going to be hosting it next year? And I, you know, think that I'm going to have to.
Well, congratulations. You did an absolutely splendid job. And we hope there'll be many more fairs, and we would love to join you. So thank you for being our guest in the studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. I am blown away by the amount of talent, the commitment, the dedication, the support from the parents that's represented here, and the fact that this organization was started by students that have not graduated from high school yet is truly astounding. So please, a big round of applause for everyone here.
Volunteering not only helps the community and those around us, but also gives great joy to the giver. We hope that we have inspired you to volunteer in your community, or maybe we have given you some ideas to get you started or increase your volunteer activities. Remember, giving the gift of time is very special and rewarding. And if you live in the Cupertino area, why not volunteer with us and help make programs like this one? Check us out at www.thebetterpart.com. I'm Val Jeffrey for The Better Part. Thank you for watching.